And I'm so glad to see you all brought your siddur to follow along and take notes so it's more meaningful for you. Abraham Cohen. Are we ready? We're in? Hashivenu Avinu Torah Techa Kavenu Malkeinu Le'avodatecha V'Asirenu B'Tshuva Shleima Levanecha Baruch Atah Hashem Haraitze B'Tshuva. Tshuva. This is the bracha of Teshuva. Teshuva. What does Teshuva mean? Literally, to return. To return. What does return mean? It means to go back to a place that you already were. If you weren't there already, it can't be called returning. What does it mean? There are 3 levels. Hashivenu Avinu L'Toratecha. Hashem, return us to your Torah. Return us on an external level to be living in line with the spiritual laws of the universe. And to be doing them in a joyful and conscious way. The Torah is the guidebook for life. There are 613 things. 248 of them are very, very good for your spiritual well-being. 365 of them are bad. Avoid those ones joyfully and do those ones joyfully. It's not a burden. There's no resentment here. Are some of them a little bit difficult to do? Yes, but if you want to become great in life, you have to do some difficult things. Can't eat just whatever you want to eat. So there's something you have to have self-control. So bring us back in line with the system, the spiritual system of life, but in a joyful and conscious way. And we say this is Avinu. What's this? It says, Hashivenu Avinu L'Toratecha. Our Father. Bring us back to your Torah. And then it says, V'karvenu Malkeinu La'avodatecha. And bring us close, our King, to your avoda. Now what is avoda? Avoda is really Tefillah, prayer. It's called avoda shebalev. But what that means is more of an emotional connection. La'avod et Hashem. Avodas Hashem, spiritual work, is really all about an emotional connection. Love, awe, that kind of thing. So I would have thought Avinu should go with that, it's more loving, and Malkeinu should go with Torah. But really, I think it's switched around because the Father is there to guide as well. And the King is meant to inspire. And remember that the Father is the King here. They're not separate, the Father and the King. But the King is meant to inspire this immense reverence, yira. We spoke about yira a lot in other classes. But there's our relationship with Hashem and tefillin and tefillah and everything should be one of excited joy. That's what I think yira means. A wondrous reverence, excitement and joy. Is that how you felt this morning? Put on your like, oh my goodness, black box on my arm. God, what an amazing thing. Hashivenu Avinu Toratecha. Bring us back to an intellectual understanding of what's good and what's wrong, what's bad. Karvenu Malkeinu Le'avodatecha. Bring us close to your avoda, that I'm emotionally invested in this. Mitzvahs. How much do you love mitzvahs? I asked this question in several classes. I'm just going to ask it again. You have the opportunity to go to your favorite band. Best seats in the stadium. And you get to go backstage. And you get to go to dinner with them afterwards. Or your favorite sports team. And your spirit. But you wouldn't be allowed to put on tefillin that day. It's a payoff. Or no, I'm going to put on tefillin. I'll miss the band or the sport. Which one? Oh. Really? You're so from David Shlomo. Really? You guys are too from for me. Be honest. Be honest. Your favorite band.
With the locker room. Locker room, players, autographs.
Thank you. Now we have someone.
I just have a little interest in sports.
Well, something that you have interest. Your favorite politician, your favorite artist, your favorite anything. You're that person that you're like, yeah. It's good. So it should be clear to you. It should be clear if you knew the spiritual reality that, of course, it's not even a question. It's like, no? So that's the connection we have. Karvenu, bring us close. I want a closeness, intimacy, emotional intimacy. Tshuva shlema. Tshuva shlema, what is real tshuva? Tshuva isn't saying I'm bad, I did all these bad things. That's a process, maybe, to get there. But tshuva, we'd say there's a third level. We have Avinu and Malkeinu, father and king. And there are different relationships, the father and the king. Father being more love, king being more reverence. Tshuva shlema is husband and wife. This is intimate. Is it love? Is it awe? Is it both? It's a complete feeling of oneness. What is a husband and a wife? Literally two halves of one soul. They get together, they are literally now one. With ahava, there's still two. I love you. With yira, there's definitely two. There's a bit of distance. But with husband and wife, there's physical difference because you have to have two bodies, but spiritually you're literally one. So the same is true with us and Hashem. We're literally an aspect of Hashem. That's what we are. So let me now not just understand mitzvahs and Torah and the rules of life, not just integrate that and live with the passion, but literally that becomes my whole identity, is the identity of a spiritual being that is in this world. I'm just a ray of divine radiant light. That's it. That's what tshuva is. People often hear the word tshuva and it's very heavy. Oh no, I have to go through all the things I did wrong and I have to apologize and I have to have... There's nothing, it doesn't say that. That's the next bracha, by the way. Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu. Slach lanu avinu ki chatanu. That's slicha, it's not tshuva. Machalanu malkeinu ki fashanu. Forgive us, forgive us. Forgive us, our Father, because we messed up. Pardon us, our King, because we messed up really badly. Because you're very forgiving. That's not tshuva. That's a process of fixing. But the tshuva is just the moment you say, I want to come home. So if, let's say, there's a kid and he goes off the derech, he leaves home and he's doing drugs and he's hanging out with the wrong people, he's not keeping Shabbos, he's not putting on tefillin, he's all the furthest, and he's angry and everything. And then one day he's just really broken and he calls home and he says, Abba, I just want to come home. Tshuva then. That's it. Done. Tshuva's finished. You did tshuva. Well, that one thought of I want to come home, Dad, you done tshuva. And Hashem doesn't make it difficult. Hashem doesn't play hard to get. If God forbid one of my kids did that, I wouldn't be like, no. I'd be like, great, I've been waiting for you. Come. Ima will make you, we'll put you in a hot bath. And then Ima will make you your favorite food. And we're so, so happy to have you home. In fact, I'll come and pick you up. I know you're lying in the corner of some parking lot somewhere in your own vomit. But I'll come and pick you up. I'll be there for you. That's what Hashem is. Hashem is like, I want this relationship. So the second you say, I want the relationship, then that's it. Tshuva's done. Then the kid comes home, and then the next bracha is, okay, now forgive me, like I messed up. Now I've got to stop smoking weed and stop talking to the people. When you do tshuva is just the yearning. I want it. But then there's still the process of, okay, now let's get rid of the damage I did. And that's a separate thing. That's why they're two completely separate brachas. But there's no point, you can't do the forgive me if you don't first have the I want the relationship, because the forgive me isn't real then. It's like, okay, I'm just trying to get away with it.
Is there a connection why there's three in both brachas?
Yes, it's the same thing. It's the Avinu Malkeinu in this one.
Right.
Hashivenu Avinu Tortech, Kavenu Malkeinu Avazetech, Haslach Lanu Avinu Ki Chatanu, Machalanu Malkeinu Ki Fashanu. Ki Machal V'Slechatam. The last bit of that bracha is just saying, that's what your essence is. You want the relationship. Hashem wants to forgive. Hashem's not making it hard. They're exactly parallel to each other. It's these different levels, the love and the awe, but then the oneness, the complete connection. And do you understand? This is why the very first thing we're asking in the requests, in the bakashot, is just give me das and seichel and bina. Let me just know what's right and wrong. At least let me know what's right and wrong. At least know what I'm doing in this world. What's the purpose? At least make me a well thought out human being, an intelligent human being. But the very next thing I'm asking for is like, let's go, let me do the whole purpose of life then. The whole purpose of your life is tshuva. That's what you're doing here. Could you do tshuva if you did no sins? A tzaddik, he's like a really big tzaddik. On Yom Kippur, is he basically standing there saying, well, I don't really do anything? You think the Rosh Yeshiva gets into Yom Kippur and he says, I didn't cheat, lie, steal, no sexual immorality, I didn't speak any lashon hara, I worked on my character traits, I learned loads and loads of Torah, I said all my brachas, I really meant, and which is true, he did. So is he like, I'm pretty cool?
The things you ask for in Yom Kippur is forgiveness for the sins you didn't know.
Okay, sins I didn't know, but in general, you can always do tshuva because you can always come closer to God. Tshuva means coming closer to God, not being upset by your mistakes. That's the point I'm trying to make. They're two separate things. Tshuva means closer and closer and closer to God. That's where you used to be. You were born in Shemayim. Your neshama was just basking in God-conscious bliss. Then it came into the body. So I just want to return to that state of God-conscious bliss. I just want to return to the state of just being a spiritual being in a physical body. That's all right. Completely separate thing is this next bracha. Okay, well, I messed up there. I got to clean the mess. I made a mess. You got to clean up the mess. Remember also we said that the Arizal said that every single bracha of the Shemoneh Esrei has to be said with simcha. There's no intense simcha apart from the next one. Slach lanu, he says you can feel a little bit of remorse. How much remorse do you have to feel for your mistakes? The amount of remorse that will help you do better next time, that will motivate you to not do it again. So if you don't feel any remorse, you're not going to get better. If you beat yourself up and put yourself down, you're not going to get better. Remorse isn't beating yourself up. Remorse is, I let myself down. Remember, we always say this. Tshuva isn't saying, I'm bad. Tshuva is saying, I'm so good. I'm so good. And I let myself down. So I'm going to clear up my mistake. But tshuva is meant to be a very wonderful, sweet process of returning to this high level of consciousness. Amazing. Tshuva is meant to be very enjoyable. And people make it very intense and horrible. Even the remorse part that you're meant to feel some pain. It's a temporary pain. The Baal Tanya, the Alter Rebbe, of Shneur Zalman, the first Rebbe of Chabad, says, how much remorse do you have to feel? Well, Yom Kippur is called a mikveh in time. Just Yom Kippur itself purifies. There's an opinion in the Gemara that if you're a Jewish boy walking around a Japanese island to 88 Buddhist temples eating not kosher food, on the day of Yom Kippur you're purified. It's just a natural thing until you eat the more not kosher food. It's like you get clean. Shoot. That was just a completely random example. So that's what I do. So we say that's not exact. We don't really say that that's true. We say you have to have some consciousness. But there is an opinion that says the day itself is mechaper. The day itself cleans you. So if the day is a mikveh, how long do you have to be under the water in order to be purified in the mikveh?
Just fully immersed. There's no time.
Fully immersed for 1 second. But you have to be fully immersed. If there's one hair sticking out, you didn't become pure. So too with remorse. If you fully feel, oh no, that was so not okay, for 1 second, that's it. Don't need to have any more remorse. There's no beating myself up. What's wrong with me? I'm such an idiot. Why do? Especially you guys and me, Baal Teshuvas. Gemara says that a tzaddik can't stand where a Baal Teshuva stands. The further you come from, the more Kiddush Hashem it is. That's why the parsha of giving of the Torah is Yisro. Yisro, the biggest priest of Avodah Zarah. the Pasha of when the Torah is given is called after him. Why? Because he was so far away and he came back. That's the biggest Kiddush Hashem. So you guys are walking around, and me, as the biggest, amazing Kiddush Hashem. Look what you gave up to be here. You might have struggles with your family, ex-girlfriends, friends, people call you naive, people doing all that things. You used to eat what you like, do whatever you like, and now you're saying, no, I actually want to come back. But remember, you're coming back. You're coming back to where you're meant to be, what you're meant to do. So it's a very, very, very sweet and holy process of returning to Hashem. So that's why it's basically after just I have basic das, bring me back. And very quickly before your question, if you actually look at it, it says Hashivenu Avinu, you bring me back. We're saying even this process of tshuva, I'm just human, I can't do it that well. You kind of do it for me. Can you do my homework for me, Hashem? Kaveinu malkeinu la'avodatecha. You bring me back. You do it all. But all you have to do is want it. Yeah, Hashem, I want this. I just want this. And Hashem says, all right, I'm going to bring it. Once again, it's like the father going out to pick up his son for the 5th time that week. Dad, I really want to come home, but I actually can't walk because I'm so wasted. Could you come and pick me up? And the dad's like, okay, son, okay. Who was it? Were you in the class when... Is someone here? And not in this class. He said, oh, I know who it was. He said his parents said to him, never be afraid to call her. Let's say you get in the worst trouble ever. I just want you to know, don't be afraid. You call me anytime, I will come and pick you up. And he said, and I know this guy, he's a very sweet guy. One time, he got very, very wasted, terrible. He called his dad at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was about a half an hour drive. His dad came and picked him up, put him in the car, put him in bed, never mentioned it again. He woke up in the morning, his dad was like, hey, you want some breakfast? Dad never, as if it didn't happen. Power. One of the greatest things you can do for your children, apart from saying, I'll always be here for you non-judgmentally, is show them that you trust them. I trust you. Even if you don't, by the way. I trust you, you'll be okay, because then they want to live up to that. So we're saying, even like, I can't do tshuva, it's very hard, but I want it. As soon as you want it, Hashem helps. Yes?
Is the reward for a Baal Tshuva the same as someone who grew up religious, went off the derech and came back?
I think that's just another type of Baal Tshuva. I think it's harder. Someone who grew up religious, went off the derech and came back is harder, so maybe the reward's greater, but I don't know. I think it's a case-by-case thing.
Kabbalists say that an angel teaches you all of Torah when you're in the womb, so in a way we're all up the derech for Baal Tshuva.
Well then, even the frum people lost it as well. Everyone's about tshuva, because everyone wants to can come closer to Hashem. So this is an awesome Hashivenu Avinu. But here's another thing: when you're doing the bakashot, the requests, are you really requesting it, or are you just saying the prayer? When you think it, are you actually asking Hashem for these things, or are you just like, Slach lanu Avinu ki chatanu? Are you actually really feeling? Are you a good requester? When Hashem wants you to ask for these things, do you feel the lacking? If you don't feel the lacking when you request something, you're not really requesting it. So even if you don't feel your personal lacking, it's okay, because the prayer isn't a personal prayer, it's a communal prayer. Oh, I just did want to mention from yesterday, because I said you shouldn't pray for yourself at all. There are other opinions that you should. So you can take those opinions. Even the Gemara says, so we talk about intelligence, you can say, please Hashem, help me understand my Gemara or my wife or whatever. You can add personal prayers into all of these things. I just mentioned a different opinion, which I believe is a more spiritually powerful opinion, that type of prayer you should do, but just not in Shemoneh Esrei, that in the forest in the middle of the night when you're screaming to Hashem for your personal stuff. But if it makes Shemoneh Esrei more meaningful to you to add in your own stuff, then definitely do that.
Why is that more powerful?
Pardon?
Why would that be more powerful?
To not pray for you.
To do it like outside the service.
Just very quickly, the service is a team, it's a communal prayer, so it's not the place to ask for your own stuff. You're in the minyan, and it's all in the plural. Berech aleinu Hashem Elokeinu, Rifa'enu is us. All of the brachas are talking about us, so why are you then putting your personal prayers in there? So you are praying for yourself, but as part of the community. Whereas when you're just alone and you're speaking in English and you just have your own pain, that's a good time to ask for your personal request. However, for some people, because it is sometimes hard to connect to the words of the Shemoneh Esrei, if they add their own personal requests, it makes the Shemoneh Esrei more meaningful. That makes a lot of sense to me. So it's a very good path to take. Or you could do a bit. You don't have to add personal things into everything, but maybe Rafa'enu, if you have someone in your family who's very sick, it even has a place to add that, and we'll go through it. But in general, for the Yerushalayim, it's all for us, the team, Jewish people. I have to go just because I'm teaching an Aish Mexico group. But let's just a summary. After just having general intelligence and saying it's all from Hashem, our next two brachas, the first one is setting up the goal. The goal is intimate, palpable, personal relationship with Hashem. And then the next one, Slach Lanu, is, okay, so let's clear away the mechitzas, the things that are blocking us. You've got to remember, a very fundamental idea in Jewish wisdom is that you do not need to create anything. You don't need to create happiness. You don't need to create love. You don't need to create connection to Hashem. That is your essence. You have to return to those things. You have to reveal those things. You have to peel away the obstacles and the external things that are getting in your way, but you don't have to create it. That's why we start with, this is my essence, and you're not adding. Most Jewish spirituality, you're not adding anything. You're peeling away. You're revealing what's there. It just got covered up. We say every time your soul is perfect, every time you do something that you weren't meant to do, you put some mud on your soul. Didn't damage your soul, you covered it up. So tshuva is, I just want to come home. And then Slach Lanu is, okay, now let's wipe off the mud to reconnect. But Hashem, we continue Wednesday, because Tuesday is kickboxing.